In a stunning move, the United States has given Ukraine the green light to strike deep within Russian territory with advanced ATACMS missiles. A decision that will undoubtedly change the trajectory of this brutal war and send shockwaves across Europe. But how does Europe, already scarred by the ongoing conflict, view this dramatic escalation? Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, resolute and unwavering, hails the decision as a triumph, a victory forged in the heat of war. But as his words resonate, a chilling truth emerges. The missiles will do the talking now, and their impact will reverberate across Europe and beyond.
The plan to strengthen Ukraine is a victory plan that I presented to our partners. One of the main points is long range for our army. Today, much is being said in the media about us receiving permission for the relevant actions. But strikes are not made with words. Such things are not announced. The missiles will speak for themselves. Glory to Ukraine.
As the war rages on, Europe's leaders are split. Some embrace the decision, believing it will tilt the scales in Ukraine's favor. Others warn of the danger, an escalation that could pull Europe deeper into this abyss. This moment marks a critical juncture. Will the US's bold move unite Europe or fracture it? German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock emphasized the significance of the decision, framing it as an intensification of ongoing support rather than a shift in Western strategy.
Regarding the decision from the U.S. side, I would like to underline that this is not a rethink, but an intensification of what has already been delivered by other partners is so important at this moment.
Similarly, EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell reiterated that Ukraine should have the means to not only defend itself, but also to strike back at aggressors, aligning the decision with international law.
You know my position. I've been saying once and again that Ukraine should be able to use the arm we provided to them in order to not only to stop the arrow, but also to be able to hit the Arcus. I continue believing this is what has to be done. I'm sure it will be discussed once again. I hope member states will agree on that, and if not, anyone will do whatever they believe is according with the need to support Ukraine.
For Lithuania, a staunch supporter of Ukraine, the decision signals the end of hesitation. Minister Landsbergis criticizes the delays and debates that have hindered decisive action. Now, with the impossible made possible, he hopes this marks the beginning of a larger commitment, a security guarantee for Ukraine's future.
In principle, that is a good decision. I'm happy that it's finally made. It is unfortunate that so many arguments have been used in the past why it is not possible, that the targets have been moved, that it's not needed, and so on and so forth. And now suddenly the impossible becomes possible. So I hope that other things that are currently possible, such as security guarantees for Ukraine, that it also becomes possible, rather sooner than later.
The Netherlands stands firm, its commitment to Ukraine unwavering. Dutch Foreign Minister Veldkamp underscores a brutal truth: Russia only listens to force. With the US lifting restrictions on weapons, Europe sees this as a necessary step to counter Russian aggression, even if the stakes now grow infinitely higher.
President Putin, in general, only listens to facts on the ground. And I think, therefore, that it is very important, the news, that the US also does not use limitations anymore for weapons delivered to Ukraine to defend itself also on Russian territory, the territory of the aggressor.
Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico's remarks hit a nerve. His sharp critique of Ukrainian President Zelenskyy reveals the underlying friction in Europe over the direction of the war. Fico implies that Zelenskyy's fear of peace, a concern that the war could end, may stem from deeper, unspoken political realities. For Fico, the choice of the American people, especially in the wake of the US elections, could reshape the future of Ukraine's struggle.
When I saw the reaction of the president of Ukraine after the presidential elections in the United States, After he visited the European Union, I saw the fear of a person that he would not have a war anymore. The strange situation that someone is afraid that the war will end probably has a number of reasons why he thought this way. But we know, and that is the sovereign matter of the citizens of the United States, whom they have chosen. We know that there is a high probability that the policy of one single correct political opinion is ending according to the war conflict in Ukraine. I'm very glad that it is the way it is.
Russian officials, predictably, condemned the move, with Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov labeling it as provocation.
If such a decision were actually formulated and communicated to the Kyiv regime, then of course this would be a significantly new round of tensions and a further step towards even greater escalation.
France is not blindly rushing forward. Minister Barrett recalls Macron's calculated words, suggesting that striking Russian territory was always a contingency, but only if Russia continued its aggressive actions.
Well, you've heard President Macron on May 25th in Meseberg earlier this year, where we openly said that this was an option that we would consider if it was to allow to strike targets from where Russians are currently aggressing Ukrainian territory.
The specter of a Trump return looms over this decision. Trump has previously criticized extensive U.S. military aid to Ukraine, favoring negotiations over further military engagements. European leaders worry that if Trump regains power, the transatlantic alliance could face challenges in maintaining consistent support for Ukraine. EU countries may need to increase their defense commitments and financial aid to compensate for a potentially reduced U.S. role. Despite the differing opinions, the European Parliament's resolution urging member states to lift restrictions on the use of Western weapons signals a broader consensus on supporting Ukraine militarily. Biden's approval for long-range strikes has put Trump in a precarious position. Trump will inherit the consequences of Ukraine's use of ATACMS missiles. Should Ukraine strike significant Russian targets, Trump might face pressure to either escalate military support or reverse Biden's policies to avoid broader NATO entanglement.
Let me say a few things before I...
For Trump, this could mean navigating a complexity where America's role as a global leader collides with his America First commitments. Biden's decision leaves Trump with the unenviable task of addressing the fallout from a conflict that may grow more volatile.